Welcome to Storytime at the Rubus, a weekly podcast about Bonnaroo and other festivals. I'm your host, Sharla.
Hey, everybody. Hope you are having a good week. It's Daniel. I'm going to be straight up honest with you. There was a time in the past 48 hours that I considered skipping this week because at the time I thought there wasn't a lot going on, but then we hung out with JB in Nashville the other day. There's been talk about the dates. I thought that we would review some of the poll results that we had on Instagram from last week. This isn't going to be a jam-packed episode, but I do think that we do have a handful of things to talk about. First of all, what's going on for you?
You ask that every single week.
Yeah, I know. I genuinely want to know.
The answer is always the same. I'm working very hard. I'm hard at work.
I know you are. But if you had to tell somebody like one or two things other than work that you're doing, what would you say? So we are starting to very, very, very early plan for TOTEM in 2027. We're starting to put together some end of the year things like our annual report that we'll post at the end of the year. We're thinking about some fundraising ideas that we might want to have coming up, just some kind of little things like that in order to get ready for next year. Yeah, it's kind of weird because like we're in a bit of a downtime for TOTEM because we're coming off a great success that we had at Rue this year. But now we don't really have like a ton to do until it's almost go time. So like we'll start ramping up back in December. I do foresee a future in which we would do other events. Thank you, Truman. He's over here. That was him shaking if you heard that. I had been just kind of talking off kilter with some friends this past week. I foresee a future in which we might do a little something at Halloween. Like not this year, not next year, maybe not even the year after that. But I think at some point in the coming couple of years, I would love to do something down there.
I mean, I think the goal has always been, to branch out to other festivals, to go beyond the C3 festivals that we've done in the past, to branch out to other parts of the country. I mean, totally just throwing around ideas. I mean, we've got people on our board out in Salt Lake City. So we talked about Kilby Block Party.
That would be
talked
fun
about, some other things like that. So I think that's always been a long-term goal, not anything short-term, obviously, but just a very long-term goal for the foundation.
Yeah. I mean, in a perfect world, I would love to do something at Burning Man, but I think that's going to be too much of a hill to climb. For me, I think the achievable goals are Halloween, maybe Okeechobee, and I certainly think we could do something at Electric Forest. But the challenge with that is it's just a week or two after Bonnaroo, and that would be a lot for our small crew to handle, in such a short period of time.
I'm so sorry, guys. The dogs are just eating and eating and drinking and drinking.
They're drinking and drinking.
Dinner
oh my God.
time. So
yeah,
if you hear that in the background.
Yeah. No, these things pick up pretty good. And the stuff with Riverside actually does a good job.
So, but yeah, I mean, just talking about some things that we have coming up. But right now, like I said, we are starting to early plan for 2027. I did see where our scholars are just out there, honestly, just kicking ass.
Tell us about that.
Charlene got accepted to a program with Live Nation, and she is just out there killing it. So make sure to follow her, Charlene M, on Instagram. And then I saw where Austin was doing some production work up in Knoxville. So follow him as well. I think his Instagram is its_Preston. So make sure to follow him also.
At some point in the coming months, we're going to have an episode that will feature our scholars from this year. I don't know if it's going to be before you and I go to Burning Man or after, but that will probably be happening at some point before Thanksgiving. I'm going to round them up and I want them to tell you guys about their experiences this year. We saw a lot of it firsthand. They really excelled this year. I was really proud of this year's class. I'm proud of every year's class, but since we had 6 this year, we had a lot of fun stories and successes to share. Speaking of which, we may up the number next year since we successfully had 6 this year. And to catch you up, we had 6 because we had the 3 new ones for this year and 3 from last year that we wanted to make sure had the full experience as they got cut short due to the rain last year in 25. So ergo, we had the 6. I think we could increase it to 4 or 5 this coming year. We showed that we can successfully do that. So
yet another reason that we appreciate you through the Patreon, because that helps fund all of that.
Right. And just to be transparent, I think it is about getting the very high quality, I don't know how else to put it, very high quality scholars like we had this year. I mean, if they're all like the ones we had this year, we could do more easily.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, because they were just so amazing and so wonderful. And we are looking at a new way, hopefully, to get their supplies to them. So more on that, hopefully coming soon.
Yeah. We will have more about that in the coming months. Now, I wanted to circle back. I hate using corporate terms, but that's what we're doing right now. You said that you don't have anything going on other than work. Mm-hmm. And that's a lie. We had a good time in Nashville this past weekend.
We did. Brooklyn, Dan, and I went up to Nashville just because it'd been a long time since us three had done something together. And we took a little road trip up to Nashville. We had originally went up there to see the Bourdain movie, but apparently it was releasing on the 7th only in like certain cities like
LA and New York.
Yeah. And
I think Atlanta.
So we decided to just go up anyways. And we went to this super, super cool, we met up with JB and we went to this super cool Thai restaurant. And I actually found it randomly because I think I went to the Nashville Reddit and typed in Thai or something like that and found it. And it's called Bangkokville.
That place was awesome.
And it was like a little bit before, I guess, you get to like Nashville proper. And Bangkokville.
I felt like I was back there, man.
What was wild is it didn't have, like when I looked it up on Google, the reviews weren't as high as the other Thai restaurants. And we've been to I think it's Smiling Elephant.
That was years ago.
Yeah, years ago. And it had higher reviews than Bangkokville. But we went and, oh my goodness, it was going to Thai grandmother's house.
She came out and hung out with us.
She literally came out and hung out with us. The cook did. It was a true family experience. It was a family experience. You walk in and the whole restaurant is no bigger than, if you've been to our house, some of you have, no bigger than our living room, kitchen, and dining room area. Like tiny little restaurant. I mean, there's probably a max of 10 booths in there, if that.
Yeah.
I mean, a tiny little restaurant and just wonderful, wonderful people in there. Amazing.
As soon as I walked in the door, I was getting flashbacks. I always joke about that one scene in Ratatouille where the critic like takes a bite of the stuff and boom, he's like transported back to when he's 7 years old. I was transported back like boom, am I on Cowstand Road? What's going on here? Because like the vibe of the place, the smells and everything.
We had went there because I saw online where they served Chang beer, but they actually didn't have that. They actually did not. Oh, excuse me, a little gnat or something in here. Quit. And they actually didn't serve alcohol, but the girl said you could bring your own. So I was like, hey, that's cool.
We'll do that next time. Yeah. I think JB enjoyed it. That was his big introduction.
Yeah, that was his introduction to Thai food. I mean, JB and I did have Thai food from the food hall last time I was in Nashville, but that was not really Thai food at all. Yeah. That was literally like some rice with some chicken in it. Like that was not Thai food.
Now, what was the name of that bar that we went to later that day? That place was lit.
So after that, we went to a place called Southern Thrift.
Yeah, that was fun.
And that was a lot of fun. And then after that, we went to a bar called Strega, Strega.
All the art on the walls is like animal themed. There was like cats and ostriches and owls.
It's apparently like Brooklyn had looked it up. Brooklyn's the one that found it. And it's like from the same people that opened Rosemary's or owned
some of the same people or investors. And it's only a mile or so up the road.
And it was super, super cool. So you go in and there's like the main bar area and you can go outside and there's this huge patio area and there's like pool tables out there. And then you can go upstairs. And the upstairs there was just not a lot of people there because it was a Sunday afternoon. But there's a little closet upstairs that's a wedding room.
Yeah. Now, I have a clip for you. Watch this. Sharla, can you explain this?
This is the wedding room here at Strega. Brooklyn is going to get married. She's going to do her vows in here.
I'm chronically single.
I mean, not for long if you stay in here.
I'm staying here. I'll object.
I love all the references.
That's the Golden Girls last episode.
That was the last
Yes,
episode?
that was the very last episode when Dorothy married Blanche's brother.
Amazing.
And we have Patrick and David.
All right.
David.
Do you know this one?
What? Yes, of course we do.
America. Do you know this one?
I don't recognize that.
Isn't that from Full House?
It is from Full House.
Oh,
Do
wow.
you know this one?
No.
That's from Boy Meets World. That's Topanga and Corey.
I know this one.
That's Kermit and Miss Piggy.
That's an ear.
Oh.
And then that's Morgan
That's a
Mindy.
That's
Yeah,
Morgan
Morgan
Mindy.
Mindy.
I don't know those other ones.
I don't know the other ones either.
Can we go get a drink?
Yes, we
I
can.
dug that place. It reminded me, for those of you in the New York and New Jersey area, it reminded me of one of those places that Evan would take me to in the Village. It wasn't as Nashville hipster as Rosemary's was. We went over there, by the way. I mean, we always go over there. We can't not. But Strega might be one of my new go-tos. Like, it was really chill. They allowed dogs in. We met a cute dog. There was like a pool table out back. Totally recommend it. Just a mile or so up the road, kind of northeast from the 5 Points area. I think you guys will like it. It certainly has kind of a Rubian vibe up in there, I felt like.
Can I give you my like Nashville hot take
Please.
for like 5 seconds? Okay, this is like the wildest hot take that I've ever had, and you're gonna like divorce me. And
No, never. Unless you're like, I hate Tame Impala. I hate King Gizzard. I hate
No.
Braves baseball.
No, never. So like going to all those places are fun. And we're always going to go to like those types of places, and all the more hip hipster type of places, blah blah blah.
Yeah, we're gonna go to Tootsie's.
I was going somewhere with this.
I know I'm messing with you.
But it's okay. Sometimes you just want to go do like a one and done on Broadway. Like
Oh,
we
God.
did that one night. No, we did. We went to some concert. I don't remember who we went to see. JB was with us. It was me, you, and Brooklyn, and JB. It was somebody's birthday.
I don't recall that.
And we went to the Canes.
It was my birthday last year. And
What did we go
we
see?
went to see Cherub.
Oh,
It was Cherub a day after my birthday
Oh,
last
yeah.
year. Hung out with Jason. They played over at the Basement East, in the 5 Points area. So went to their show, hung with him for a little bit, went to Rosemary's. Of course, he showed up there. We trolled him for a little
Yeah,
bit.
that's
But
what
then we went back to the hotel at 1 a.m.
No,
and
this
you're
was
like, it was later than that?
yeah, it was way later than that.
And you're like, I'm not done. And we actually
Let's just go
went
do
to
a one and
Broadway.
done. Let's go do a one and done.
But it wasn't like a honky tonk. It was like some place that had like butt rock cover bands. So we go in there and it's like, can you take
It was a
me
Creed cover band.
higher? And it was
And it was
kind
about
of awesome.
3:30 in the morning, a Creed cover band. And it was the only bar that was still open on Broadway. And so we walk in and I shouldn't even tell this part of the story, but some guy was like, what do you like? What do you want to drink? And I was like, 3 tequila shots. And then I just took them and walked away and walked back over to y'all.
I feel like you should save those kind of stories for the Patreon only things.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we can tell that. In fact, we're going to record right after this. So you
Anyway.
guys, if you're a Patreon, look to your inbox.
JV thought I was giving him a cup of water. Then he goes, huh?
Oh my God.
And then we went to the Canes.
At the Raising Cane's on Broadway, there was a DJ at like 2
Yeah.
a.m. And there's like
JB was
a
over there
balcony
dancing.
and a
JB was
chicken
over
finger
there-
place.
JB was over there dancing. But anyways, where I was going with this, my hot take is sometimes you just want to go do something stupid. Like sometimes you want to have stupid fun.
I'm
There's-
not against it.
And there's nothing wrong with that. And like all these people are terrible and you know that, but sometimes you just want to have a little stupid fun and it's fun.
Oh, I totally agree.
Yeah, and we shouldn't make fun of people if they,
Well, I mean,
it's
it's
a little
fun.
bit, but
You recognize that it's not
You
entirely for
recognize
you,
that
but
it's not for you. But
you still enjoy it out of
for
like
what it is, yeah.
irony,
Yeah.
kind of. Like we all enjoy Creed ironically.
No, I'm not talking
Well,
about
I know
Creed.
certain people that don't.
I'm not talking about Creed. Like,
I'm just saying for example.
okay, the last time I went up to Nashville a few weeks ago and me and JB went to the food hall because we were trying to go somewhere else. We were trying to go to that British pub. We ended up having to go to the food hall. It's the whole thing. And I was like, take me to the most ratchet bar here. And we ended up going in Tootsie's and just for like one drink.
Nah, I don't really want to go in there.
But I recognize that it is Dom.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So anyways, and we were like out in like 30 minutes. It's not like I stayed the whole night in there. Anyways.
I
Continue.
also want to shout out Shayna, speaking of Nashville, because like I was meeting up with a buddy from Bonnaroo that we know in Nashville that was going to go to see Pond with me, and they got sick. And Shayna came down at the last minute with her cousin, all the way from
her nephew.
Her nephew, thank you, some type of relation. Nephew, they were wonderful. I think they have a bright future ahead of them. They have already been to Bonnaroo, had a great time. I encourage them to apply for the TOTEM scholarship because they are of the right age for that kind of thing. So, Shayna, remind them. But yeah, we had a good time. We went to the British pub over there on Printer's Alley. That's one of our go-tos if there's a show downtown, like if we're going to the Ryman or something like that. What's the name of it? Do you remember?
Fleet Street Pub.
That's it. We went in there, got a plate, got a beer. I love that place. If you happen to be in downtown Nashville, they haven't paid me a dime to say this. I totally recommend them. Good food, good people. It's in the basement down there. I love the theme down there. It kind of has like a British dive bar vibe down there. Really love it a lot. But yeah, we went to go see Pond. I hadn't seen them in 2 years. The last time I had seen them was one of the Shaky Knees after shows with Andrew and Taco. We went over there and had a blast. I like their new album. It's a banger. I like it better than the past two, and I like all Pond albums. But they were fantastic. And I think I saw Kevin upstairs. It's not impossible. But yeah, had a blast. It was over at the Brooklyn Bowl, and that was my first time in there. I love that venue. It's a good space. If you go upstairs on the balcony, you can see the entire Nashville Sounds baseball field. So it would be cool to go to a show and just watch the game from up there. I might go back sometime. I really like that place. But shout out to Shayna and her nephew for coming down to hang with me. I appreciate you guys, so I didn't have to go solo. Can we have a side topic real quick?
Yeah, of course.
I'm not big on going to shows solo. I was like begging any friend to go with me. I was like, hey, free ticket, go with me to a show. Because I didn't want to go alone. I like going with friends or family to those kind of things. How do you feel about that?
It don't bother me.
It don't bother you?
No,
it bothers me a little bit. I got to have somebody as like a sidekick, you know?
It does not bother me.
You know?
I'll do anything by myself. I don't care. But I grew up an only child.
Yeah.
So.
I got to do too many things by myself when I travel for work. So if I'm doing something around here, I want a friend to go with me.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, that's what we've been up to. I'll tell you more here in a couple of weeks.
We'll start doing this to you. Anyways.
I didn't mean to do it in your face. I was just like making an expression.
Like every episode, you're like.
I didn't mean to. I'm sorry. Sharla has had this joke for years. She was like, hey, what if you're playing basketball and you're playing defense and you just give them somebody's space and do this?
Is that illegal in basketball? Please tell me.
I don't know.
If somebody goes up, you know, and you're just like, is that illegal?
I could tell you baseball stuff, but I don't know that much about like basketball rules. Okay. Anyway, we did want to get into some other stuff. I did want to take a quick moment to talk about the Bonnaroo dates because that seems to be a hot topic on the Reddit, Discord, all these different places right now. The long story short is we don't have them. And I feel like everybody's starting to get a little antsy that we don't have them. Yeah. Now, we did some homework. You got the receipts. When was it announced last year?
So I did look at the text that Bonnaroo sent out, and the 2026 dates were announced July 17th, 2025.
So as of this recording, we're recording this on Tuesday night, the 11th. So we're about
August the 11th.
August the 11th. Goodness, time is flying by. Thank you. August the 11th. So we're 2 or 3 weeks removed from where we got it last year.
We're almost a month removed.
Okay, so some of our friends was looking this up, and I think the only other instance that we're immediately aware of, please tell us in the comments if you can remember another time. Chloe was looking it up. You know, she's on the TOTEM board, good friend up in Iowa. No, she's excited to go to Riot Fest. She was looking it up, and like the other only instance in which it was announced later than this was in 2022 when things were weird. We just came off of, COVID and everything.
Okay. This is not me trying to.
Let me correct myself. It was mid-November 21 when that was announced, not 22. Okay.
This is not me trying to be argumentative or trying to be a know-it-all. I have seen multiple comments from multiple different people across the Root internet sphere saying, oh, they've announced dates much later than this. They've announced dates in the fall.
et cetera, and so forth. Please, I think I just spit.
Okay.
Please, someone, please tell me when that's happened, because I cannot think of a time when that has ever been done.
Yeah, let's make this a collaborative effort. So
Please.
you guys know where you can find the comments. Many of you are on our Discord. Tell us in the YouTube comments. There's comments on Spotify these days. Anywhere that you're watching or listening to this, help us, because we've been looking it up and we may have missed something. So comment, look in the comments. We're going to make this a collaborative project. So let's, track when things have been announced for the Bonnaroo dates.
Now, I keep seeing that everywhere. Now, as far as I'm aware, and this is just, and I do not have the best memory. I continuously say that I suffer from CRS, can't remember shit.
Yeah. Same.
I couldn't even remember the can't remember shit. That's how bad. But it's, as far as I'm aware, up until 2020, it was always, and we've been going since 2013. It was always book your, they would announce the dates at the end of the festival and you could get your ticket. You could buy your ticket right then.
Yeah.
And buy it for the lowest amount. And then they wouldn't be on sale until Black Friday. And then I couldn't tell you after 2020 because that's when things got real funky. Now,
you got fun.
Hygiene Queen does keep a spreadsheet of when things get announced, but unfortunately, she does not keep the dates on there. That's the one thing she does not keep on there.
The dates of the dates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she does keep things like when does the lineup drop? When do tickets go on sale? When does the schedule release? Things like that. But y'all just let me know when they have announced dates later in the fall, because I cannot remember that for the life of me.
I am not deeply concerned, but I am going to be honest and transparent that I am starting to become a little concerned. I did some messaging around today. I'm not going to name any names, but I messaged people that I know would normally know. And at this point in time, two people that are very deeply connected to Bonnaroo that would know if there were dates do not know if there are dates. I think I can safely say that. When I learned that, I was like, okay, this is worth keeping an eye on at this point. I don't think it's safe to say at this point that anything is in jeopardy, but I'm just telling you, when I learned what I did today, it raised an eyebrow for me personally.
Now, we all know, and everybody's been saying, oh, well, the hotels have June the whatever to whatever, booked off. They've got these dates in June. The prices are $400 for this week versus $95 for all these other weeks or whatever. I've been keeping an eye on that. And while that may be true, they may just have that blocked off for this, because that's always been the traditional date. I did see one hotel that had the entire month of June blocked off like that. It was more expensive for the entire month of June versus every other month.
I do want to raise the fact, though, that a lot of hotels will take reservations and not take a deposit. We do that a lot. So I travel a lot for my job. When I book a place for Hilton, I don't have to pay it until I actually check in. I can go ahead and have them hold the reservation. I know that brings up the Seinfeld joke when he rented the car that one time. You know how to hold the reservation. You know how to keep the reservation. But that's something worth considering too. It doesn't necessarily mean that anybody has invested all of that money to hold a hotel for a week or two in June. So that may not be the tea leaf that we think it may be.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, exactly.
Now, we do not have enough information to draw any conclusions about this. I should state that very clearly. We're speculating based on what we're able to find out and what you already know. I'm not deeply concerned. I don't think anybody that I personally know is deeply concerned, but it's safe to say we're a little concerned.
Now, honestly, like Daniel said, neither of us have any idea. We know nothing about nothing.
If I knew, I would tell you.
Yeah.
I don't like holding information. The only information that I ever hold is names, because I refuse to get anybody in particular in any hot water. If somebody tells me something in confidence, I'm not going to say who it was publicly. I think we should leave it there, because anything else we would say beyond this is just like speculation, and I don't want to add too much fuel to the fire.
You want to start no rumors?
No.
Dang.
I ain't been in that game in years. But like we said, let us know in the comments if you have anything to add. I do want this to be a collaborative thing. I believe in the power of numbers, and we got quite a few listeners and viewers these days. So if you guys know something we don't, let a brother and sister know. As far as like when things were announced, maybe you've heard something we don't know.
Yeah, like, I mean, I will say, I do think there's a certain point where people are going to be like, yo, Bonnaroo, what's up? Like, people are genuinely like,
we're already there.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, I think, you know, we're at the middle of August. We're getting to the middle of August. You know, if we're going to start getting into the fall and people are legitimately like, hey, I got to make plans.
Yeah.
I got to take off work.
That is a legitimate concern because the target demographic these days, college age people, are going to start getting invites to the beach, to go to Europe, to go wherever next summer. And if they don't have a firm idea on like if or when Bonnaroo is happening, then they're probably going to take somebody up on the offer to like split a hotel in London or something like that, whatever it may be.
In London?
Or maybe that's not the hot summer destination. I don't know. Bangkok.
But I mean, seriously, I think eventually a lot of people are like the Roost sphere, you know, are going to start wanting answers.
I think we're at that point. We kind of got to know, like for us, for Totem, like we got budgeting to do. We have planning to do in terms of like opening up scholarships and everything.
Right. If we're not going to, if God forbid there's no Bonnaroo, which like we said, we have no idea. We have to plan for another festival, or we have to plan for what are we going to do?
Send it to the forest.
But that's everybody. You know, everybody has to make plans.
Yeah. All right, let's move on because we speculated.
We could go down yeah.
I wanted to follow up on the conversation that we had with our panel last week. Speaking of the future of Bonnaroo, that was a big topic of conversation last week. And I wanted to follow up by asking the community at large. Sharla and I have tuned out of a lot of social media these days, but we do try to stay active enough on Instagram. The Rubus Instagram account has pretty fair following. So it's fun being able to do these polls to get kind of like a taste of what the Rue audience at large is thinking about when it comes to different topics. So we asked a number of different questions last week. Wow, the two dogs just got into it and Truman just started across the house. I don't know what is going on back there. All right, so Sharla has these up. Let's take a look at these. Oops. So we asked a number of questions. Let's go through them. So we wanted to ask, for example, should that tent stay in the what field or go back to where it was? 62% voted to move it back. This was out of, you know, around a couple of hundred people that voted. So it's a fair sample size. We asked, should Tuesday entry return? 64% said yes. I'm sure you're grateful for that.
Now, can we back up a minute?
Yeah.
Of those, you know, 200 or 300 people that voted, I will say people that are listening to not just us, but also the Walk podcast, people that are on the Discord, people that are following us on social, following the Walk podcast. These are going to be your more, and people that, you know, are watching right now, that's going to be your more invested fans, your more invested Bonnaroovians. They're going to go year after year after year after year. It's not going to be your one and done.
That's a good point. That's a good point. All right, let's keep going. So we asked, would you attend a September-oo? Like we mentioned last week, there's nothing that says that there would be one, but the theoretical idea has come up on all of these spaces. 68% said yes, 32% said no. I was a little surprised by that.
That was a poorly written question.
Why? I wrote it.
Yes. Would you attend if that was your only option? Like, would you attend a September-oo? Like if Bonnaroo came and said, we're only having it in September, you know, that's it. That you have to go in September or you don't go. Well, yeah, people would go.
Fair.
But do you prefer a September-oo? Heck no.
Well, let's ask that. We'll ask that tomorrow when this releases.
Absolutely not. I prefer a June-roo.
Yeah. I should mention that we briefly discussed this on last week's pod, and I think we talked about it more on Discord. September would rule it out for a lot of people that are going to school or work in education. It would just be a no-go for them. So I think if we rephrase that question, we could get a more accurate idea. We'll do that. So if you're watching this, Either as this releases or the day after it releases, we'll put that question on our
Like
Instagram.
me, for example, I mean, I could make it happen, but I don't want to. It's not preferable.
I agree. Another question. Would you attend shows at a large stage in the camps? I brought this up because Evan mentioned this. 82% said yes, and 18% said no.
Can I bring up a point on that one?
Yeah.
They did that in 22.
I thought about that. Yeah, it
They
was right
had
in front of
that
the bus.
giant stage in the group camp.
Y'all attended the Flip Turn show that we helped produce.
And
we
then
appreciate that, but nobody
nothing
else
else.
attended much of anything.
And there was some good shows out there too.
Turnpike Troubadours.
Turnpike Troubadours played out there, and it was a giant ass stage, and there wasn't hardly anybody.
Well, that was one
Now-
reason that Rue decided not to do nearly as much of that, because they were a little bummed that
because
nobody
came out
took
there.
advantage of it.
Now, I will say that was peak heat,
That was a hot year.
It
That
was
was the
a
hottest year in a long
hot
time.
ass year.
All right, next up. This was a speculation question. It's not too early to start speculating 27 headliners. Who would you most like to see? The options were Tame Impala, Lord, Muse, and whatever John Mayer and the band are going to call the new Dead and Company project. Those ideas have been floated, but nothing certain. 62% said Tame Impala, thank you. 17% said Lord. Only 6% said Muse, and at a close third place was the new Dead and Co. project. That'd be an easy hit. Next up, should Where in the Woods find a way to return? And we mean back to its former glory.
Do you mean the stage? You
The
wrote it on-
stage.
Okay.
The stage. I think everybody knows what we meant.
Also a poorly worded question.
Yeah, but if anybody listened to last week's episode, they would have known what we meant. And 78% said yes. I think it's fair to say that most Rubians would like to see that back in the way that it was.
I'm sorry, I'm just giving you a hard time.
Yeah, you are, as you typically do. All right, so we also wanted to hear from you when it came to just open feedback. So there was one that was like, we just want to hear from you. How do you want to see Rue improve next year? I'm not going to add the names to these, but we heard that people want Calliope back. They want King Gizzard back. They want a Legacy Sunday headliner. They say keep it in June. 24/7 showers. I agree with that one.
Yes,
It's lame that
yes.
it closes at any point. It's also lame that it wasn't open on.
Yeah,
Wednesday
there
or
was something weird.
Thursday?
Yeah, it was
That
like
was-
not. It had weird hours this year. It
No,
wasn't open on
I
like
didn't care for
Wednesday,
that
and
either.
like half the showers weren't open. Like just weird stuff.
Somebody said invite Calliope back. I agree. I know there was discussion saying like, oh, they're trademarked. Like, so is
Okay,
a bunch of
invite
other
'em
stuff.
back,
Yeah, so
So is the Ross department store.
exactly. If we're talking about trademark things, can we please have the Cracker Barrel bring us breakfast in the
Right.
morning again? There was one question. I'm not going to add too much commentary on it, but I think it's dead on. Somebody said, "Stop making promises they can't keep." I'm just going to let that one hang there. But I agree. Somebody said, hire a fan/community liaison. I added commentary to this when I reposted on Instagram. I said, hot take, they have a hardworking staff,
Yeah,
but I feel that there are too many people that are stretched too thin.
exactly.
I think, and this is not a knock on anybody, I think that there is a number of people upstairs in the Rue management that have a lot of responsibilities.
Mhm.
And we've discussed this. We're not knocking on anybody. It's just that when you are stretched so thin, you don't get to spend as much time on things that you wish you could have.
Right.
And I think having people that are solely dedicated to fan specific things would do the place a lot of good. That's something worth taking a look at as we rebuild, you know. Somebody said bring back jam tracks. That's a complicated subject. Ideally, it would be cool if it worked great, but I know that's very difficult. Let's see. Somebody look at this one. Book Sierra Farrell so Sharla and I can plan the perfect fits. How do you feel about that? Bring back jam for the people. I just said from your mouth
yeah.
to God's ears. Less cops, no AI, more art, and less dead time between sets. Well, I do want a lot of dead time on a set, if you know what I mean. Real quick, can we talk about the cop thing? That was a big topic this year. A lot of people were
That's a
saying,
topic every year.
yeah, I feel like I heard more of it this year than ever, though. I don't know if it's just more awareness these days, but I realize that the need for security is always there, but I think there's a line that it crosses where it just makes people uncomfortable and
Oh,
unwelcome.
yeah.
I don't want to dive too much
Yeah.
into that. And then the last one says Tame Impala, please. You already know how I feel about that. So yes, I think a big takeaway is even after a rebuilding year and with things, as we have discussed tonight, looking a little uncertain, people are still very vocal. And I think that's a good thing. If nobody cared, we wouldn't hear these things. If nobody cared, they wouldn't have gotten like so many responses to the various surveys.
Right.
If nobody cared, y'all wouldn't be watching or listening to us and the What Podcast and Ruham and stuff. The community is active and invested, which makes it weird that everybody's just kind of left there hanging there at the moment, to be honest. But I think we have covered that and then some. All right. I did it again. Did I put it in your face?
Yep.
That's just like my game. I'm almost like a Southern preacher when I'm doing these gestures when we're talking about things. Anyways, I'm Kentucky in orchestra. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
All right. Last thing for this week. I wanted to do a couple of weekly picks. Do you got something?
You go first.
Well, before I go first, why don't we call out our Patreons?
Okay.
Because
Oh, yes.
we probably ought to do that. I do want to thank you guys. I am usually pretty transparent about these things. We are still bringing in about $500 a month. That is all going to Totem. That is going to fund our scholars next year. This is not wood, that is. We hope to up the ante next year. Thank you guys very so much. Would you like to list the names?
I will.
Go for it.
Okay. Pocket Dog Sam, The Winters, Danny, Lauren, John, Akash, Britt, Ryan, Courtney, David, Jordan, Alyssa, Imani, Bradley, Jared, Olivia, Claire, John, Lexi, Danny, Lisa, Butter Crew Nick, Delaney, John, Brady, I Am Rave Dad, Casey with Texas Fruit Crew, Christy, Jums, David and Aurora, String Bean, Zach and Jeremy, Amber, JB, Sam, Austin, James, Hygiene Queen, Chris and Shy, Dan, Ernst, Keith, Casey, Perry, Nick, Maddie, Bruce, Andrew, Kent, Randy.
You have to go to page 2 again.
Papa Josh, Bosco, Eric and Ben, Evan, Chloe and Sean.
Thank you, everyone. It is taking forever to say the names these days. We might have to figure out something else.
No, that's fabulous.
Oh, it is fabulous. That's a good problem to have. Thank you, everyone. You know the deal. I could almost copy and paste this every week. You can find us at totemfnd.org. And if you want to pitch in a couple of bucks a month that we save up to help our scholars every year and our overhead running a nonprofit, it is at patreon.com/Rubutts.
You can donate there or at givebutter.com/raise-the-totem.
Thank you very much. Dogs, why are they down here looking at me? They just ate. What do they want? They're out for blood. Okay. You go first with your weekly pick.
Oh, so I've been on the new Margot Price album. It came out at the beginning of July, and it's got some really great songs on there. So go check that out. I've been listening to Margot Price for years and years and years, like way, way, way back in the day. I think
we saw her.
I've seen her a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Seen her multiple times.
The time I remember, she opened for Old Crow Medicine Show.
I was going to say, yeah.
Like right before COVID hit. I remember.
That was I was going to say that was one of the first. What was before that? It was way before that.
Good man. I can't remember.
Yeah, I was going to say that was one of the first times that I saw her. She opened for Old Crow, and it was a long time before that. But yeah, I've been listening to her for years. She's incredible. And I found out she is actually only a few days older than me, like a few days.
Days,
yes. That's super cool. But anyways.
That's funny how things like that work out sometimes. Remember, we found out that like Drew and I were born one day apart.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So it'll be his birthday too. I got to get up with him. Yeah. Oh, happy birthday, M. Jeezy, by the way. It's her birthday. While
There's like little bugs in the house. I swear.
Anyway. I blame the dogs. My weekly pick is there is a new season of Star Trek Strange New Worlds. I am not a Trekkie / Trekker, whatever. You guys know me. I'm more into like Star Wars and Lord of the Rings. But Next Generation is still my favorite TV show of all time. And this show, Strange New Worlds, is pretty much like the new version of that. It's not the next generation because it takes place before that. But whatever, who cares? I highly recommend that you watch the 3rd episode of the new season. You don't need to know anything about Star Trek to enjoy it. It is basically the Hangover in the Star Trek universe. I don't even want to tell you even any more than that because it's better if you don't know. I thought it was hilarious. Go watch that. You'll love it. I promise. You don't even.
It was so funny.
You don't even know. You don't need to know anything about Star Trek. You'll just enjoy it. Even if you know like kind of how Star Trek works, you got like a bridge crew. They go on adventures together. Each person has a different role. That's kind of all you need to know. And everybody knows Spock. He's in it, so that makes it fun. But Strange New Worlds, the 3rd episode of the new season. I don't remember the name of it, but that'll get you there.
Hey, Daniel.
Yeah.
What do you say we go check on this pizza?
I hadn't even put it in yet.
Oh, oh my God. I thought it had done burned to a crisp.
No, I turned the oven on.
I've been looking at the oven. Our kitchen is like across from, and I've been looking at the oven this whole time thinking the pizza had burned to a damn crisp.
No, we've been doing this for 40 minutes, so it would have been like burning the house down by now. Everything's okay.
Oh my God.
Truman, would you chill out for the love of God? All right. This was a weird episode. I like doing the weird ones. We have 2 more before we're on the road to Burning Man. I'm still looking for guests. Danny,
I've got some.
You got some?
Yeah, I got some.
Danny, who was on last week, has a proposal and is putting something together.
Cool.
I think Josh and JB and I are cooking up a little something that'll probably be after Burning Man. We want to try something a little different. But if you watching this, are a Ruvian and you have a pitch for an episode of this podcast you want to do, I want this to be a community effort. I will give you the password. I trust you. Take it away. Yes.
Sorry, my allergies.
It's okay.
I had talked to Justin with Festy Playlist about coming back on.
I would love
a while
that.
back. Yes, because he had been doing his bike trip. Sorry, my allergies.
Ooh, it's okay. Let's try to get him on before we go to Burning Man.
Yeah.
I want to hear an update from his adventure.
I just, life got busy.
No, well, isn't it always? All right, well, let's get busy with the pizza and the end of this Braves game right now. Thank you, guys. We love you. See you next week. Get out there and radiate positivity.
Bye.